Time to musk up. Wow.
All right, back again with a review on a Louis Vuitton fragrance. This one has been garnering some hype. A lot of people talk about it, especially on Facebook groups. It seems like the Louis Vuitton fragrances in general get a lot of talk. Some say they're overpriced fragrances and you don't get much for what you pay for. And some just love it and don't really care. But the fragrance I'm talking about here is Ombre Nomade. Right, and this is part of their Middle Eastern collection. They have 4 at the moment, although there was a 5th that was just named Oud. But that one was a Middle Eastern exclusive and basically almost impossible to get your hands on. But personally, in my opinion, this is one of the best creations from the Louis Vuitton line. Nuit de Faux is personally my favorite, but this one is good as well. This really shouldn't be, but it's done very well. It's a very big fragrance. I don't like beast mode, and this definitely is, although some people say it might have been reformulated and it's a skin scent after a short period of time. I'm not going to say that because this stuff, I literally sprayed one spray on a blotter and I can smell it, no problem. I'm pretty sure after a shower or on clothing, after 2 washes, you won't get this stuff off. And that's mainly because there is a decent amount of amber woods in here. But let's get right into it, and I'm gonna start off with the notes. I am reading off here. I'm gonna mention something as well. And the notes here are oud, incense, rose, raspberry, birch, saffron, benzoin, amberwoods, and geranium. Now, the rose is technically not a note that Louis Vuitton credits for, but it does have that effect of rose in here, although I do have my reasonings to think that it might be an effect given by the raspberry and the geranium, but I'll go into that a little bit further. Overall, this fragrance here is just a very fruity, leathery, incensey, kind of woody fragrance, very Middle Eastern. Right off the top, you're gonna get that very fruity raspberry, and like I said, giving off the effect of almost rose in here. Now, geranium, some perfumers do use geranium to give off the effect of rose, but in my opinion, the geranium in fragrances typically makes the rose feel very green, stem-like, watery, fresh rose, rather than something like a Bulgarian rose that comes off fruity and more plump than geranium. And I get that effect here of like a Bulgarian rose and a lot of it. But like I said, I think it's the raspberry and the geranium giving off that effect. And who knows, maybe there is some rose in here as well. But if there was, I don't know why, Louis Vuitton would go and say that. Maybe because they have another one that's heavily rose, Les Sables Roses, and Fleur de Desert also is one that has rose in it. And so maybe they kind of wanted to separate the fragrances. But nonetheless, you'll get that, and then you'll definitely get that birch smoky leather here. Not overly leathery, but mainly into the 3, 4, 5 hour mark, you'll get more leather. The fruitiness kind of dies down a little bit. Definitely some incense, kind of cold, smoky incense. And definitely amberwoods. The amberwoods here is definitely giving this fragrance lift and longevity. People know I don't like amberwoods, but I don't completely dislike it as long as it's done correctly. And I think it's done correctly here. But the one thing I will say is that this is a really, really big fragrance. This is not a signature scent. I can't see somebody wearing this every day. Personally, I think this is perfect for like a wedding. This is something that will definitely turn heads. I also don't usually like to use those words, but this will definitely get you attention. Absolutely. People will definitely smell you, although some would disagree with, they say that this has been reformulated, but this is only a 2018 release, hasn't been around for long, so, who knows? But the other issue here is obviously price. Now, at the time when this was purchased, this fragrance was $380, and I would assume with inflation that this is probably retails for over $400 plus tax. And so I would have a hard time recommending this. Do I enjoy it? Like I said, absolutely. But as I always say, always sample anything I ever speak about. I will never say blind buy something. I will always say sample it. Louis Vuitton stores are usually pretty good with samples. They always give them out. I have like 3-4 of them. Yeah, it's just, this stuff just smells delicious, but not in a gourmand way, right? It's really weird. It's really big. Some might say, you could say maybe a little feminine leaning, but the smokiness, the leatheriness here, the woodiness, it definitely brings it back into the unisex, and just fantastic, in my opinion, blended very, very well by Jacques Cavalier. Hopefully I said that right. Yeah, Ombre Nomade. Almost get this kind of vetiver effect almost. I don't know. I get some crunchiness here. But just overall very nice kind of fruity, leathery, woody, smoky fragrance that definitely ambery. Spicy, I guess you could say spicy. I guess maybe I don't know what would give off that spicy effect, but I don't know. I wouldn't say overly spicy, but just really, really nice. Like I said, a showstopper here. I understand why people enjoy this one, and I understand why somebody wouldn't. I think there is a lot of fragrances that are kind of in this realm, and I'm pretty sure that there's many clones of this as well that you could probably spend $40, $50, $60, on this. And so, like I said, definitely sample, do not blind buy. This is something in the realm of, I know people say like Tuscan leather, but Tuscan leather is just leather, right? And there's a touch of raspberry in there. Kind of this cigarette smoke, dark brown, vintage kind of leather jacket effect that I get here with Tuscan leather. But I would say this is kind of in the realm of something like Santal Royale from Guerlain, and just many other different kind of rose ouds fragrances out there. Now, one thing I would definitely will say is that I don't know if there's real oud in here. Nuit de Faux, I think they do credit on the Louis Vuitton site. It says Assam oud, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, and I don't know. But one thing I will say is that Louis Vuitton, if they are using synthetic materials to create the oud here, I think they do one of the best jobs, in my opinion. But I don't really get any like funk or any oud here. I just get a smoky wood effect, pretty much. And that's usually the case with Western fragrances. But yeah, Ombre Nomade. Definitely a showstopper from the line, and in general, just smells amazing. Let me know if you've tried it and if you like it or not. And if you don't like it, let me know. That is the review for Ombre Nomade, and I hope you enjoy that. Till next time, take care.